Happy Tuesday, everybody. Coming to you once again from the Hive with Rob to answer all of your burning questions. And that is, what is going to happen to Bitcoin? Is it going to fall off a cliff? Are we going to have another leg down from here? Or are we just going to experience the worst of the worst for most people, which is just a slow bleed, chop, and sideways consolidation? We are going to answer a lot of those questions today. We're going to check in on the 3-day death cross chart that we've been discussing. We're also going to have a look at the RSI, as there are a lot of people saying it's the most oversold it has ever been in history. But is that actually accurate? Because here in the Hive, we give you the facts, and facts aren't objective. We're going to look into the charts and tell you exactly what we see, as well as a little bit of predictive analysis based on what has happened previously, so you can understand exactly where this market is headed. And most importantly, when is the best time to capitalize on this potentially opportunity of a lifetime, guys? I've said it, I'll say it again, and I will say it each and every episode. So you can go back, you can watch these. Every single episode is like a masterclass in itself. Speaking of masterclasses, we are 1 week away potentially from dropping that masterclass. We are very, very close now. And I'm so excited to be bringing that to you guys. You have 1 more week to get in the group for free and stay in the group for free based on certain volume parameters. So get in the Hive right now. The link is in the description below. You'll be sent to our VIP verification channel where you'll click on our bot. You'll sign up for BYDFI, our partner exchange of choice, and then you'll do the KYC. There's no KYC. You just sign up with your Gmail, and you'll be given a $100 trading bonus for any deposit. It's a no-brainer. You're going to learn how to trade. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of people who pass by this channel are long-term investors. I myself am a long-term investor, and I have been since I entered the space. But I have 2 portfolios. I've got my long-term holdings, which I'm now much better at timing entries for. Based on all the facts that Rob presents and that we look at in the group with their analysts. And also, I've got my trading portfolio where I'm able to compound those gains and potentially DCA lower my long-term holdings or just continue to compound my gains. Guys, learning how to trade in these market conditions is a no-brainer, because regardless of whether we have 1 more year of sideways consolidation before that mega epic blast off, you will be making money in any market conditions, and we will make sure you feel comfortable, you understand everything, and that you're ready for any scenario. That's what we want you to do. We want you to be prepared. Now, it's been since Thursday, I believe, so it's been quite a long time. I was really missing you guys, so please let me know where you're tuning in from, what you're drinking, tea, coffee, even a cocktail. I mean, no judgment here. Let us know what you're feeling, what you're up to. We just love to check in with our Hive family, okay? So, fear and greed. Fear and greed yesterday hit a 5. I mean, very, very low. Since the index was launched in 2018, sentiment has only plummeted to this all-time low during 3 specific periods: August 2019, June 2022, which was the last bear market, and February 2026. Okay, so either way, regardless, we know we're on the verge of a phenomenal opportunity here in crypto, right? And so what we want to know now is, we all understand that Bitcoin is on sale, right? That altcoins are also on sale. But what we want to understand is, when is the best time relatively to get in based on previous indicators, so that you can potentially protect yourself from further downside, get ready for further downside to buy, or know, the Bain dollar cost averaging areas where everybody's looking at based on fibs, based on a lot of different things. Okay, so we're going to help you, exit the bear market like a pro and enter the bull market like a pro. Something is very, very hard to do. So we're going to help you navigate that on this channel, but more importantly, in the Hive and with our course that's coming out probably within 1 week. So we are very excited for that, guys. So cheers to that. And yeah, so other news. I mean, there's a lot of instability in the world and a lot of uncertainty, and that creates, a lot of different kind of emotion in the market, right? Tom Lee's Bitmine immersion is down over 8.4 billion, 50%. On his ETH holdings. Okay, they're aiming to own 5%, I believe, of the entire ETH supply, but in the meantime, not doing too hot. And that's what we're trying to help you with in this group, is to be able to, buy at the most optimal moment, right, and protect yourself from that downside. If you're a long-term investor, help you find better DCA targets, right, based on what the charts are telling us. There's also a lot of talk from bigger players about. I don't want to call it FUD. I just want to say what I'm seeing in the news, okay? And then we'll discuss it with Rob, and we'll see how that could sort of correlate to what we're seeing in the charts. But JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says he's starting to see parallels to the era before the 2008 financial crisis. And I've seen this echoed several times across, social media, especially because Warren Buffett and his firm, Berkshire Hathaway, are at all-time highs for cash reserves. So there's a lot of stuff going on. The CIA secretly warned Apple, Nvidia, and AMD in 2023 that China can invade Taiwan by 2027. Lots of different talks. Iran, of course, lots of tension in Iran. Trump has sent over, the big guns, and we're just sort of right there waiting to see what happens with that. Trump came out and said he will not pardon Sam Bankman-Fried. So some people lost a poly market bet, I can imagine. And, lots of bullish news, but that bullish news right now is not taking the forefront in the center stage because of this, world and uncertainty of the world, the geopolitical sphere, as well as, in every way, the unlimited debt that the U.S. is printing themselves into, along with a lot of other countries. And yeah, guys, like it is tense out there. Actually, I saw an interesting piece by Robert Kiyosaki that maybe we can look at with Rob afterward. I'm just going to play that for you now. And that's another narrative going around, like that it is not a good thing potentially when gold and stocks run together. That's at least what he has to say. Let's have a look at this, and then we'll bring Rob up to the stage.
That's not good news. Let me explain why. Normally, gold and stocks do opposite things. Stocks go up when people feel confident about growth, and gold goes up when people feel scared and want protection. They're not supposed to rise at the same time, but right now, both are breaking records. This has only happened twice before. In 1999, right before tech stocks crashed, and in 2007, right before the financial crisis. Gold doesn't rise because it's popular. It rises because big players see trouble coming. Central banks are buying gold like crazy right now. Why? Because governments understand something the average investor doesn't. Gold is not a trade, it's a hedge against currency risk. When stocks and gold rise together, it usually means risk is being mispriced. Either gold is wrong or equities are. History says equities are the ones that eventually reprice, not because gold is magic, but because gold doesn't rely on promises. Stocks rely on earnings, growth, and stable credit markets, but gold doesn't rely on any of that. That's why I've always said this. Gold doesn't go up. Paper money goes down. This doesn't mean a crash happens tomorrow. It means the foundation is cracking quietly, and cracks show up in gold first. Most people wait for headlines, but the rich, they watch signals. When protection assets rise alongside risk assets, the system is sending a warning, because by the time everyone agrees there's a problem, the smart money has already moved.
Ooh, okay. Are you paying attention? The reason why I like that is actually because we like to make moves on this channel in the hive, before everybody else is talking about it on X, before all the influencers are talking about it, and before it becomes an issue, right? So we will discuss this a little bit, have a little bit of chat with Rob, what he thinks about gold moving along with stocks. I like what I said about, that just means the price of the dollar is being debased, right? And so that's how it's reflected in the price of gold. But are there starting to be cracks? Are we going to get a big crash? Or are we more near a bottom, right? There's a lot to unpack on today's episode, but I know that at the end of the day, all of this contributes to the FUD that in turn, at the same time, is like when you're getting constant FUD news, it's usually toward the bottom as well. So that's just a little bit of the macro news. And I think now is a very, very good time to just pull up the charts and see what's going on with Rob. Also, guys, we've been crushing it in the hive. We're going to show you some of our wins. So let's bring. And I froze just right as I brought Rob up.
Yep, you're frozen on us. How's it going, everybody? Was she able to hear?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Such an opportune time for my computer to freeze, guys, right as I'm bringing Rob up to the show. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with the Spanish internet here. I'm going to have to get Starlink. But Rob, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful outside of my back hurting.
Yeah, Rob had a back injury today, but he still made it on here just to dedicate this time to you guys who need this update and you need his analysis. So we're very thankful for that. You guys got to take care of your health and find time to go outside, touch some grass, lift some weights. In fact, I know you've been on a kick lately going to the gym, starting to go to the gym, Rob, and it's really important, right, for mental and physical health.
Oh, yeah, got to stay healthy, stay strong. But you get injured, it kind of delays that a little bit. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, injuries happen, but you know what? Like, you just got to keep going, and that is why it's important to get in the gym when you can, try to strength train, try to just like during these times in general where the market is difficult, where things are boring, I think discipline it comes in very, very handy, right? You get your routine going and you just start to get in the flow of things in life, and you just start to go along the right path, guys. And injuries happen, things happen, but in general, we are all on the right path. And if you're tuning in here, you're most definitely on the right path. So that being said, what did you think about what Robert Kiyosaki said about gold and stocks rising at the same time? Is it noise, or is there something to it?
And there were some things I was reading about it called being like the great melt up, everything going up together, stuff like that. And then there was also things that I remember reading about. I have to sit there and double check and make sure it's right and fact checked it. But the last time gold and stocks all went up to like one of the times it went up at the same time was right before the great financial crash back in, what was that, the 1800s or something, like a very long time ago. So there was some signals back then where that kind of happened at before as well. And we probably can go in. I'm not going to do it on the show because it'll take a while to do some analysis on it. But we probably could go in and find some times where that has happened before, and we could look at the aftermath and see what happened afterwards.
Right. In general, like the reason why Richard, welcome to the show. And yes, weekend could be horrendous. We'll have a look at that. Based on that 3-day death cross, the main dates for that, the next closes are Thursday and Sunday. But he's saying depends what Trump decides. So my only hesitation on that call by Robert, well, many hesitations, right? But one of them is that we are going to go into quantitative easing. There is a high probability that we get that Clarity Act signed this year. So I more just AI taking over, productivity going up, more signs to me point to like maybe we'll have some time of just sort of like accumulation at the bottom here before we go back up. But I don't see like a 2008 crash. I mean, obviously there's no way to know that beforehand for sure, right? But like with all of these factors in this macroeconomic sphere, it's hard to believe that we're going to have a big crash in those sort of quantitative easing conditions. I believe we just print our way out of it. And I think Trump will have a lot of influence in how things go, quite honestly. So we'll keep an eye on that. What's up, Jeannie? Welcome to the show. How you doing? You made it just on time. We're just talking macro news here and what's happening on the geopolitical scale, and sort of trying to tie that all in together to what is happening on the charts. And key updates for you guys today. We're going to talk about the 3-day death cross. Okay, what is happening with Bitcoin imminently? Whether or not we could get that bounce on that 200-week moving average, which everybody is looking at, or if something else is in play. And also, I want to show you guys just one chart that Rob and I were discussing. I did post it because I thought, facts are facts, right? And they're not objective. So this is the sentiment that's being echoed across a lot of the space right now. And that is that, and this is why precision matters. This is why data matters. And this is why, you really have to look at the charts. And we do have a very talented analyst here with Rob. So Bitcoin just made history. So I've been seeing this in many different chats as well and across X, but it's not something we all want. Okay, Bitcoin weekly RSI has just reached its lowest level in history, lower than tariffs crash, FTX, COVID, 2018 bottom, Mt. Gox hack. It means in the history of Bitcoin, it has never been this oversold. And then there was this chart here. But actually, Rob, who is a machinist and very detail oriented, did point out that this is actually not the lowest it's been in history, right? So it's off by a pretty big margin. Why don't you take us through that, Rob?
Yep. All right. My screen on? Is my screen on?
Just 1 second here. Yep.
All right. So yeah, I was just looking at that chart there, and I was like, wait a second. That's something I was also been paying attention to as well too. And so I'm going to go ahead and close these down real quick. I mean, whenever you sit there and kind of just scrunch this up a little bit, it almost looks like that. Okay, yeah, this guy's kind of right here. But I was like, wait a second, this is something I was paying attention to, and I didn't notice it just yet. And of course, I have an eye for detail, and I just go in and I zoom in a little bit, and I'm just like, okay, let's go and check this out. And I was looking at it, and
ding, clearly not right.
Zoom in really far. This one right here. So let's go ahead, make sure I did place it right. And you could zoom in really nicely on these charts here. So this is actually a little bit lower right here. So there is the exact bottom of the RSI, where it was the most sold ever was this one right here. That's at 25.73, right? And now you go into it, and I did this on multiple charts as well too. I did this with Binance, the Bitcoin all-time history index, and Kraken. That's all one of those people online was doing on Kraken. Then you go in over here, right where we're at right now. So we know we're at 2573, and that right now the RSI is at 2615. And you can sit there and see and look at that. We still have a potential of a 1.5% or so on this RSI to actually hit that all-time low. If we go underneath it, then we'll be going into the all-time low. Now that doesn't sound, when you sit there and like, oh, that's not much more on the RSI. But you gotta remember, we're looking at this in the weekly time frame, and this is called bearish momentum that we have right now going right now in the market. So a percent drop on the RSI in that time frame can be quite a bit of a move when it comes to price action. So let's go ahead and so we are at 26 right now, right? Let's go into something that's kind of similar where, all right, here's the 26 mark right here. Somewhere right about here where RSI is at. And so last time, let's just go ahead and look at this one here. So we go to this area right here. The 26 time, when it was on 26 was what about right here. So we're going to go ahead and mark out the line so we know that we're in the right area right here. So right there. And we're just going to go from the very lows right there. We're not going to go up and say, oh, it bounced and then went down lower. We're going to go off the lows right here. And we're going to pull down to where that actually hit down, how much further we went down after that right here. We did have a 20% pullback.
Wow. Okay, so 20% is what that equates to, that mechanical error on everybody saying that it's the lowest RSI in history. Actually, we are 20% potentially away from that happening.
Yeah. So, I mean, just be careful whenever you I always like double checking things myself, but as you can see, I zoomed way into it. I'm like, oh no, we're not all-time lows. We can go a little bit lower. I mean, we're really close though, but yeah, still 1 point away on the RSI, which is a pretty big point on that time frame with the RSI, is just a big move on price action. So if you're trying to
lower, what does that equate to?
Correct.
Right. Yeah. What does that equate to price-wise, more or less?
Let's go ahead. So what do we say, about 20% pullback? So that can give us about 51,000 BTC.
Boom, boom. Okay, guys, that's a significant difference, right? When we're trying to nail our entries, we're trying to wonder, trying to discern whether or not we're going to get a next major leg down. These points of confluence all matter. And the fact of the matter is we're not at the lowest RSI ever, and that there's a lot of lack of fact checking going on X, and that's why we want to bring you the facts that are in the charts here and simply decode them, right, and help you understand what's going on. So we're looking at a potential 20% down from here. Now, the next thing was that we were talking about how everybody else was saying that we're going to get that bounce on that all-important 200-week moving average and that everybody's placing their buys there. We're ready to ride that bounce. What are your thoughts then if everybody is sort of echoing the same thing?
I mean, my thought process is the same thing because that's a very solid level to be watching at. But with everybody doing the exact same thing, how often is everybody always right? So that's where it just kind of like, all right, maybe should you shoot for it, but should you go like all in, go big there? You should probably wait for confirmations. You should wait for stability once we're down there. If you're looking to for long-term macro to scale in, of course that's a good place to start scaling in at. Can't sit there and complain about that one. But as a trader, as Dune say you're just trying to buy right at 58.5 and you want to trade up to you think it's going to go up to $72,000 after that, and you're trying to get some kind of small gain. Just make sure you manage your risk correctly. Make sure you have stops in place because there is a potential chance that it does. I mean, last time we did break right under. So last time we didn't bounce on it. So we had a weekly candle close underneath it, and we kind of came up and did a trap on it and then went back down. So we didn't bounce on it. We went 18% down on the candle that we were getting underneath it. So if you buy right at that level, you're looking at potential a wick down to $48,000. That from that going for that kind of same scenario right there, because that candle didn't close all the way right down at the very bottom. There was a long wick right there, and underneath the SMA 50 or 200, I mean weekly, we went down 19% on a wick. So
right. So that's something to keep in mind, right? When you're setting your potential limit orders, managing your risk.
Yep. And I a lot of these times when I start seeing these oversold things, what I'm thinking is this creates FOMO. Like a lot of people like buying oversold, and that's like their strategy. And whenever they start seeing, oh, it's the most oversold it's ever been, it's almost like trying to get people to FOMO in without for some reason like that, which I always find kind of weird. It's like, no, you still want to wait for confirmation. You still want to wait for the shift of structure to sit there and be confident. But it just feels like those kind of posts out there right now that are going on are giving people lots of confidence. Like, all right, we're the most oversold we've been, and we're right at the weekly SMA 200. This is definitely going to hold. I'm going to be buying and make some major money off this move. Like, people might go big there. And if they do go big there, that could create a big liquidation area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that just also brings to mind, like, you know, everybody's this bullish undertone that we have in the market right now that Rob and I have been saying, it doesn't feel like we're at a 5 on the fear and greed index with the narratives that are floating around on X right now. In fact, even a comment now in the chat, hyper bullish from Happy Gene. Happy Gene, I'm right there with you. I'm hyper bullish as well. I am mega bullish on this market for very long term. And I think we're coming into some incredible opportunities. But that's just the point. Like, there doesn't seem to be enough fear in the market yet for us to really have, you know, like that like when Bitcoin was at 17,000, I remember it like clockwork. I did buy at 17,000. Okay. And everybody was then at that moment when that was clearly pretty much the bottom. I mean, it double bottomed and went a little bit lower to 15. Everybody was saying it's going to go lower. Just wait. We're not at that moment yet where people are like, hold on, it's going to go lower. I mean, there are people saying it, but it feels more like the general sentiment is we're right at the 200 week. This is a great place to buy. Let's go. And so for me, that's just a little bit troubling. And that to me signals that we could have a little bit further downside from here. I just wanted to welcome Eterelde. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name, but welcome to the show. I don't think I've seen you here very often or ever. So Jerry Van, welcome to the show as well. Jane Street market manipulation has now caught the attention of the feds. I can guarantee it, right? Okay, yeah. So again, this is a lot of stuff that happens around bottoms. In my opinion, you know, the FTX collapse, fear starts to flood, the fear of, you know, investigations of things unraveling. What he's referring to is the fact that Terra just came out that they are suing Jane Street for alleged insider trading leading to the collapse of UST and Luna. And so there's a lot going on and, you know, just a lot of bearish news, which typically happens near bottoms in my experience in this market. So your candles and wicks are all manipulated by Jane Street. Okay. Yeah, you know, market makers do play a big role in things and sometimes in collapses or liquidations that we had in October. I know there's a lot of theories, but in general, the charts are just doing what they're supposed to be playing out based on the signs and signals, right? So 2035, your prediction is 600,000 Bitcoin. Could be. I actually think it could be quite substantially higher than that. But again, nobody knows, right? Banana Republic, what's up? Welcome to the show, guys. Before we continue with this amazing analysis, you want to know exactly where Bitcoin could be headed from here and some good levels to be watching, smash a like, hit the subscribe, share the stream. I had to repost this on X. For some reason, it doesn't get posted on X. So if you're watching on X, comment, like this. If you want us to keep going with these lives, we're trying to figure out how many lives to do per week, how many times to update you, and how many charts to give you. So if you like that, please show the love. And also for everybody tuning in, this is the last week that our VIP signals group, the Hive, is free. The last week. And on top of that, you get $100 bonus just for signing up. I know we had a lot of wins. Rob's going to show you now as I explain to you how to get in. These are wins from today and yesterday and throughout the weekend, guys. You don't have to wait to make money in this market. You make money in any market conditions. And that is the beauty of knowing how to trade, right? And in the meantime, you build up your long-term bags while you're waiting. You're waiting. And this is what's going to build your wealth long-term. And this is a massive opportunity that we don't get very often in the market. So please seize the day, guys. Links in the description below. That is for our Telegram VIP signals group. Okay. You'll click on the link and it'll take you to our verification group, which you'll then click on the bot, which will take you to the group. You'll start the bot, sign up for BYDFI, no KYC. It's our trusted partner exchange. Use your Gmail, and then you just copy and paste your user ID. And you're in. If you have any problems, you can DM us or any one of the admins in that verification group, and you've got to get in. You've got to get in the group. Guys, it's a no-brainer, and you get a $100 bonus for any deposit. That is your trading tuition, and that is your gift from us. So if you like all that, please show your support by, smashing a like, guys, hitting subscribe, and keep showing up. You are the real ones. You are going to win. And I'm going to remind you of it each and every single day. Look at these wins. These are shorts, guys, shorts and longs. As we flip long, even if we're going to go into a bearish retest of something in a downtrend. But, you know, we teach you how to manage risk. Rob is an excellent mentor, and his master class is coming out at the end of the month. Okay. So you've got to get in before the end of the month. That's all I have to say. So Eterelde. Okay. So you've been in here for some time now. Well, I'm glad you're in the group. You're just quiet. That's okay. That's okay. Been a part of the group for a few months. Been with Rob since back when Chris was around. Love your content. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it. We're working very, very hard so that you guys can get as many benefits and value as possible. We do have a free beginners course in the group as well. So you can take advantage of that resource. And we're just really happy that you're here with us, and you're showing support by hanging around, signing up to our link, trading on the link. That all supports the channel, guys, and we much appreciate all of you. And no problem if you're quiet, but we do want to hear from you. If you feel up to it, you know, share some wins, even share some frustrations. We are a team, and that's how we thrive, is that we work together. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say for now. If you have trouble signing up, you know, DM Rob or I. I left a message in the group, so you'll see my username, and I'll never ask you for money, guys, please. Never, ever. No seed phrases, no nothing. The most I will ask you for is your user ID from BYDFI to get you in the group, okay? So on that note, Rob, we're going back to the Bitcoin charts. First of all, did you have anything to add?
Oh, no. I think they're awesome.
I think I covered it.
We had a great weekend in the group. We just, just making trades, winning, trading the market as it gives us, just trading the smaller time frames as we're waiting for the higher time frames to play out.
Right. We're cool, we're calm, we're collected, and we're smashing it and making money in the process, guys. And it is so amazing, and it is so much fun, and it is the new hobby you never knew you should have, okay? And even a lot of people in the group, I mean, on their verge of quitting their 9-to-5s, full-time trading if they want. Like, this fits to any lifestyle. You can be a full-time mom, full-time working your job, like Rob has a full-time job, and still excel. It doesn't matter the time you have to put down. It only matters that you want to learn. And once you learn these key core concepts, you know, your success is virtually guaranteed if you follow the strategies and the rules we play out. And by guaranteed, I mean you'll learn how to manage your risk. It doesn't mean you won't take losses, but you will be a successful trader if you just stick to the mechanical rules. Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the 3-day chart. Now this is getting this chart, of course, closes every 3 days, and yesterday was a close. So we have another 2 days and 3 hours. I think that's about Thursday that we're gonna be looking for our next close on this one here. Sorry, I'm lost some time. I was off work yesterday for certain things, and today is Tuesday, so yes, 2 days from now will be Thursday. So we have, for our next potential close, we can have a potential death cross on that day. Now, what does that mean? We're going to drop instantly? Well, let's go ahead and look at this one here. On this one here, no, we went sideways for a little bit, made a flag, and then dropped. Now, our typical bottom is typically about 30 days, 45 days, 30 to 40 days within, so we're going to say 35 days or so. So we're going to look at this one right here. This one, we did instantly drop, and we just kept on dropping to our bottom, to our 30-day bottom right there. Now, doesn't mean bear market's over, because we could still be in a bear market and just go sideways until it turns into a bull market. A bull market's whenever we start pumping, we're up 20%, we break the 1-day SMA 200, we're sustaining price, and that is whenever it's the confirmed bull market and the uptrend has started. So I just want to make that clear as well, too. So just because you hit your bottom doesn't mean the bear market's over, because what can happen is this can go sideways and also can continue bleeding in the bear market, catching up to how much Bitcoin pulled back or whatever.
Right. So potentially, as soon as we get that death cross, which will be keeping an eye on these key dates. I'm just going to summarize it for you guys who are, you know, tuning in and tuning out. Thursday and Sunday, right? Pivotal closes for those 3-day closes. We'll be keeping an eye on. And then after that, history shows that we could bottom within 30 days and change, 35 days, we could see the Bitcoin bottom, meaning the worst of the crash will be over. The worst of the bear market price-wise will be over, right? Or should be based on history.
I mean, I think the last leg down, that's going to be hard. Like I think 3/4 of it's almost over. The bear market's almost over, like 3/4. Like
right. So, okay, 3/4. We're on the home stretch, guys. We're on the home stretch. We got potentially 1/4 left of that leg down to be bottoming price-wise. That does not mean time-wise, but price-wise, right? And that's really important, and that's really valuable information. So set your clocks, your timers, whatever. Keep tuning in, keep learning, keep honing in and refining your skills, because that countdown is almost here. So within 3 days to 6 days from now, we could get that death cross. And then at any moment, we'll be seeing the next potential leg down to where we could say, okay, this is an interesting potential area for Bitcoin to be bottoming price wise.
Yes.
Right.
So here we're going to go into do a little bit of predictive analysis. Like, are we going to get our death cross in the next close or Sunday close? So this is something that kind of fun you can do as well too, especially when markets get kind of slow. Can I get an idea what's going to be going on here? So what I did is I went to the replay mode and we went back in time a little bit. And what we're going to be looking at is the SMA 50 right here. And you got to remember that the price of the SMA 50 is going to be highlighted in red, which is over in this area. So we're going to be watching that one right there. Right now it's about 100K and 200. So let's just go ahead and go one candle close. And for whatever reason, I have to click the button, I think 2 or 3 times. All right, so that one went all the way down. So there's another candle close there for a 3-day candle. I am in a 3-day chart, yes. So now we're down at 99,500. We dropped around a K, right? All right, there it goes. 1, 2, 3. All right, there's another candle close. I gotta tap it 3 times for some reason in order to make one candle close. Now we're down to 98.8. So a little bit less than 1,000, but we're still dropping down that much. 1, 2, 3, candle close. Now it's down at 97,700. So as you can sit there and see, every time we close the candle, it's dropping down, give or take $1,000. I'm just going to do a little quick average here. So there's another one, 96.7, another candle close. 95.7, another candle close. 94.8, another candle close. And you keep going through that and kind of see how it just kind of keeps happening. I'm going to go a little bit more forward now. Now we're going to go see where we're at there. So now you got the idea of, with this price action being this far beneath the SMA 50 and how fast it's pulling, because these are moving averages and they follow the price action to the average of the price of the last 50 candles on the red one here. The last 50 candles here. Now the price is down this much further, and it's going to make that moving average drop faster, showing you makes that slope down further, makes it go down faster every candle close, and it's going to give you that potential. Now if we stay down in this area, or we put some more red, and you can go down further, there's a high probability that either this Thursday we're going to get the cross here, or we're going to be just on it, depending on where we're at. Like if we have a bounce, we go up a little bit higher, we might be just on it, like where it's going to be like barely across. But if it's looking like just barely across, we'll have on Sunday during the weekly close as well too, to confirm that death cross here. Unless price action bounces way up and breaks above that SMA 200, which doesn't seem likely, we're going to be going above $91,000 in the next week. If it could happen, but in my opinion, the probabilities of us going up above $91,000 within the next 7 days or the next 6 days now is very low. So there's a high probability that we're going to get our death cross by the end of this week in the 3-day time frame. And that there is the signal that, all right, be ready. Like this is a signal like, all right, this next pullback, if you're going to be a Bitcoin buyer, is going to be the pullback that like you want to buy the dip. Like whenever people say buy a dip, this is the dip you're probably going to want to buy.
All right. Coming from like the GOAT himself, such an amazing analysis, and based on facts in the charts, not opinions, guys. This is based on what has played out in history, how moving averages work, what has happened with the 3-day death cross before as well. So we're looking at Thursday or potentially Sunday for that cross to confirm, and based on how it's been going so far. And that is going to be a momentous occasion, because then our countdown starts. Will we get the immediate dump like we have in some areas previously, or will it sort of flag and take a little bit longer to play out, right? But 35 days, 35-day countdown. That's how it's been in history. So, it may rhyme, and we need to really be laser focused and alert and just ready to take action, ready to have a strategy. What will you do? How will you manage risk? We're going to be updating our people in the Hive in real time as this happens, because this is like one of the most important times of the year for Bitcoin and for just like wealth, right? Creating wealth and wealth generation. I mean, this is very, very important, guys. You who are tuned in right now, the real ones for sure, you will succeed. And I'm proud of each and every one of you. Banana Republic, you're saying 10 out of 10 was like 4 to 5 months ago. I think we're more like 1/4 or 1/3 of the way through. So it depends, Banana Republic, if you're talking about price or time. Price, I believe we're very, very close to bottoming based on the data that we're showing here, right? But time-wise, yeah, we've got a bit of a ways to go based on history, right? Potentially, we've mapped out some dates on this channel, November, December to even January, where we start to flip into the new bull market, right?
So basically, if you start thinking about it, 35 days from now, we can go on and like time-wise, like, so that's where I sit there and kind of made the decisions, like Bitcoin bottom and bear market end are kind of two separate things in my mindset, because just because the Bitcoin has bottom doesn't mean that we're going to be going like doesn't mean we're going straight up. It means you go back into accumulation phase. So it's not just a straight ricochet of going straight up. It's just like, hey, the bottom might be in, good time to start DCAing. Maybe it goes $1,000 less or more. Maybe it's like that area where everybody was saying we're at $15,000 right now and we're going down to 10,000 next. You know what I mean? We kind of got to see how kind of price action goes there. That's why I'm not directly buying right on the weekly SMA 200. But if we can kind of go in here and look at this time frame right here. So typically after the take profits on the 4-year cycle, because I'm a 4-year cycle guy, like this year proved like 4-year cycle does work. And also there's proof like in the stock market it works. So the first DCA time typically that Luigi tells you to DCA is right around here at 392 days over. And we got some time for that there. But just because that's the first DCA down, now you could go in the previous cycles here. All right, so if you would have bought 30 days after the death cross over right here at 3,172, or you could have waited for a little bit more time here and bought at 3,287. Like the price didn't change; it just went sideways for the rest of that bear market. Like
right,
kind of where I'm getting at. Like Bitcoin bottom and the bear market are two separate things. A bull market doesn't start until you get a definition of a bull market for any kind of asset. You can sit there and use it for a single stock, use it for a single crypto. You can use it for the S&P, whatever you want. If you just go there, you can go on Google, just type in what is the definition of a bull market. It's whenever you're up 20% from the recent low, and you're typically over some major moving averages like the 1-day SMA 200 and holding price for a certain time. So just because you're down on the lows and you're saying Bitcoin bottom may be in doesn't mean the bear market's over.
So out of curiosity, where does that put us, that 343-day mark from the first DCA dot?
October.
So what we could do is potentially bottom out within the 35 days after the death cross, sort of consolidate and move sideways, or even double bottom in October, right?
I mean, if we get a bounce, then we can come back down double bottom. Like my whole thing is probably the worst of it's going to be over by the end of Q1. And then we just go into an accumulation phase somehow. What's an accumulation going to look like? I don't know. We'll get some signals later on. We could maybe look at some accumulation, some schematics and stuff like that, like Wyckoff accumulation, stuff like that. There's all kinds of them. But again, accumulation's accumulation. Knowing that the worst of it's over after the end of the Q1, if it does play out like it has in every other bear market, same bear market, I think it makes the biggest difference here, because I like reading this. Like some of these symbols are just plain, like some of the symbols, signals that we're showing you are just very easy and simple. I know a lot of people don't like believing them because they're so simple, but if you look at them in the past, they played out very well.
And they're simple yet powerful, just like the strategies that are taught in the course we're about to drop, guys, in 1 week's time. We have a very big special announcement coming on Friday. So do be sure that you're here on Friday, and you get into the pre-sale for a special price for being an early supporter, guys. And you know, like, this is what you're going to learn, only much more hands-on. If you join the group, you will have Rob as a mentor, and there's no way you can fail at this if you really apply yourself and you really stick to it. You study and you learn the mechanical rules, right? You will learn how to be a better trader. So that being said, you know, is there anything else to look at here? Guys, we didn't want to talk too much about altcoins. I know a lot of people are wondering, but what about the altcoins? How much further will they go and stuff? And, you know, the fact of the matter is we need Bitcoin to bottom first. And after Bitcoin bottoms, typically the alts bottom several months after that. And, you know, maybe price-wise, they're pretty close, but we don't know yet what's going to happen. So we need Bitcoin to sort of bottom out. And if the worst of the worst is going to be over potentially by the end of Q1, we are right there. And it's just patience now. If your bags are down and you haven't sold and you don't want to sold, then just put it aside, go touch some grass, learn how to trade and hone in and focus. If you want to know when to DCA, when's the best time to DCA into your favorite altcoins, well, then we must be paying attention to Bitcoin, right? To understand like how this market is going to bottom out. And then we start talking about altcoins. And that's why I put it in the title, because also you don't want to buy too early. There's a lot of people that bought, maybe when we were above the 1 day 9 of Rob's, infamous 1 day 9, and then it didn't get out of it after it went below, and now it's 30% down or 40% down. So you want to be able to manage your risk in these altcoins so that you can get an even better entry further down the line if that's possible, right?
Yeah, you want to make sure that they're going to survive this next pullback as well too. Just due to, I'm not sure. I have some people complaining to me that they were in some altcoins that they thought were going to do really well during the alt season and bull market, and they didn't, and they got delisted, and they don't know what to do with it now. So I think patience is very, very
and
key
that's another
in this scenario.
Right. Very, very key. Very key. Patience is key, guys, and just have a plan and stick to it. But I think with the altcoins, it's better to sort of observe right now and be a watcher of the market. We can trade. We've been trading all day. You saw the results of the group. We're smashing it in the group. But as far as like buying for long term, if you're already DCAing and that's what you're doing and you have your levels mapped out, that's fine. In the group, we are going to drop a list of quality altcoins with key fib levels to average in at potentially within the next few days. And that's going to be our gift to the group, and also right before we drop the course as a bonus gift for you guys. So if you are going to plan on getting the group, you should do it now. You've got 1 week to get in for free, and spread the news to your friends, to your family. This is a massive value add, right? And, learning these skills could potentially change your entire life forever. So we will be dropping that list of coins very, very soon within this week. So you do want to get in the group for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. You want to get them, because that list is going to have the FA on it. We're making sure there's strong coins, and then we're going to do some TA on as well too to get the best position. And also, so if you're like a trader like me, I'm probably not going to DCA so much on them. I'll probably wait for my signals and get in during that way, and you can use my strategy to get in the best possible entry as well too. If you have more time to watch chart, if you're good at setting alerts for things, if you're good at getting in and out, like I set my alert goes off, I get in, then it goes, once it goes off. And then if it does not hold a certain level, I get back out, wait to see if it goes down anymore, and wait for my signal to go off again. It's a little bit more work, but for me, it's worth it. Some people just want to DCA and have it a little bit more easier. That's okay as well too. So all different ways to do it.
And if you do want to DCA, you will see some of the levels, the key levels to pay attention to, right? And potentially get better entries, or just know how to make a strategy and know better how to make a plan. So that's our goal for you in the Hive. So on that note, did you want to go over this 1 month chart before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I got 2 more charts I want to go over. So
okay. All right, 2 more charts. Let's go.
This monthly chart right here. So we still have more room to go down to this green trend line right here. And this is the bottom of the cycle. So we were watching for a cycle top. We were watching hit this red one, which we never hit. But we are getting really close to this green one down here. We're very close to it. So there's one more leg down saying, hey, Bitcoin bottom could be in it. And if we go this month and next month, we close very bearish, which that's what the 3-day chart's telling us. Those next 2 month closes could get us down to that green trend line. So we hit that green trend line, like me, that's like if we hit that there before, I think that's a buy signal, in my opinion. So there's a buy signal right there I'll be watching for as well too.
So when will that one close? When will we know to look at what has happened in the next closure?
Oh, the end of the month. So March 1st.
So March 1st, guys, we're going to revisit this chart on March 1st. Mark it in your calendar. Set an alert potentially in TradingView on that bottom trend line there, and just be aware that this is another chart. More confluence. I love this because it keeps it simple and powerful, and you zoom out and you tune out all the noise.
Yep. So I'll be paying attention to that as well too. I don't go off of just one chart either to make my decisions. I like multiple charts. I like confluence of charts and stuff like that. So I mean, I think as you can ask Megan, I don't really say buy the dip very much. Me sitting there saying I might be buying a dip is pretty big deal, because I'm not a dip buyer. I wait for confluence, I wait for confirmations, but there are certain times in the market where you just got to take that chance, in my opinion. And if this plays out where this is down to there, we get the 3-day death cross, 30 days over, we have some major red in the market, there's major fear going on, and people just keep on saying it's going to go lower, because my opinion, the prices that are being given out online, 30,000, 50,000, 58,000, are probably all going to be wrong in some way, somehow, and it's going to be something that nobody ever guessed. So why guess the price? But the signals you don't have to guess, because they're signals. Whatever the price is at that time is at the time of the signal is the price it's at, and that's the price you go for. And also too, looking at it that way, you never get a number stuck in your head. If you're looking
true.
I don't like having numbers stuck in my head. I always thought that I'm gonna sit there and say, like, I was one of those people waiting for 10K BTC, and I didn't get to go in until about 20K afterwards. I was like, all right, I didn't start trading long until about then, because I was like, oh man, I think 10K BTC is coming. I saw signals that were bullish. I'm like, nah, it's a fake out. Nah, it's a fake out. No, I'm not playing that game again ever again. It's just a signal's a signal, and you manage risk. I'm not going to sit there and predict things are going to go up or down further. I'm not going to give predictions on the price that it's going to go at. Whatever the price is at that time.
Simple, powerful, and I like the idea of buying, on the RSI, like on, potentially what the RSI is doing, because you're right, it does tune out the noise, and you don't have this bias in your head about what specific number it is. It's just that's what the charts are showing. That's the bullish signal coming in that you need, and potentially time to buy. And then you go and look at what price it's at. I like that. I like that a lot. It's another really powerful point of confluence, and yeah.
I got one more chart to show you guys. So this chart here is not a crypto chart. This is actually a stock chart that I wanted to show you guys here. And this is, a lot of people say that sometimes they don't want to get into trading or they just want to invest. Well, this chart here is a weekly time frame of Ford. My birthday was yesterday. So if somebody would have bought me this stock on my birthday yesterday, 1989, February 13th. Well, let's go February 13th or whatever. That's close enough to my birthday, February 23rd. Now, if you would have bought there and I would have held that for my whole life, I would be up 36%.
Wow, that's quite a start.
For 37 years of holding. So this is something I always want to keep in mind. This is what I keep in mind as a trader. But wait a second here. If I would have taken profits and then waited for some sort of signal or crash, I could have bought back. I could have took profits at 200. It went up 290%, but I didn't make 290% because I never took profits. It ain't money it ain't profits until you close the trade or you take money out. The investment will go up and down, and over time, there's a lot of times things just kind of like stock-wise, like crypto. Like I'm not gonna sit there and say this for Bitcoin because it's been projectedly going up, but like a lot of stocks or a lot of cryptos that aren't Bitcoin, typically over time you go sideways like this. If you're not taking profits, reallocating, all that type of stuff, waiting for like right now we have Warren Buffett who's in mainly cash. Why? Because he's probably gonna be buying some sort of dip if a dip comes up. So
right. No, absolutely. This is a powerful chart. This is a powerful reminder as to how compounding gains work. And DCAing is a phenomenal investing tool for long term, but it's just, if you're able to learn how to trade and you're able to learn these powerful, simple signals and apply them to your skills, I mean, man, you're going to multiply your success by so many more multiples while you're compounding your same portfolio, right? You can even compound the same stock. And even you can have two portfolios and still have your long-term if you're afraid to get rid of entirely of long-term, but have that trading portfolio, guys. It is fundamental.
Yeah, and it just teaches you, like there's a lot to learn through trading. You learn about yourself, you learn about your fear and greeds, and you learn more about market cycles, and you learn when to sit there like when I started seeing those posts online, like the RSI is at the lowest it's ever been on a weekly time frame. I'm like, no, it's not. You learn to double check things, and you learn to, like, most of all, you learn patience. Like you become just in life, you become more patient because you're like, am I going to buy today? Like today, things kind of pumped up a little bit. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Like we got a little bit of a pump going on, and then it never really broke out. So it's just kind of like, oh, we got a green candle. We had a bullish engulfing candle in the 1-hour time frame, and now it's dying over. It's kind of just like, all right, let's just wait here. We're not above our signals. We're way beneath the 9 here. 12-hour, we're not even close here. Yeah, we could come up and bearishly retest. Let's see if the 4-hour. Let's see if we hold the 4-hour SMA 9. If not, we're probably going lower. We did bounce off of the strong support in the 4-hour time frame. So this support right here, we did have a bounce off of it. But again, that's a bounce in a bear market. And you got to remember, this bounce, this did 2.5%, and that could be it. Bounce could be over. Like a lot of people sit there and they'll get used to the bull market bounces where, all right, we get a pullback and Bitcoin's bounce. Like what was it last year? When you're looking at it, like, oh, look at this bounce over here. Look how strong these bounces are. Well, that was in a bull market. So you got to also make rules. Like you got to distinguish when you're in a bear market, what's the bear market rules and what's the bull market rules, and be able to have different rules for different trading environments. Just because these are different right here than over in here. So this is different than over in here. It's just different trends, and it's a different type of market. And you got to be thinking like, all right, a bounce is just a bounce. It's probably going to roll over, or the bounce is just a bearish retest into the resistance that it just broke, not a trading long opportunity. Will we be trading long at some point? My plan for the 12-hour chart, get in the group. It's in the group. I've been on YouTube many times. We're looking for 12-hour bullish divergence. The chart's in there. If we get it, I'll be posting it in the group. And we may be looking for a bounce trade for a strong long if we do get it. But we're going to be using tight risk management. And if not, we get stopped out. We do some breakdown trades. But it's getting really close to that weekly, that 3-day death cross was making me, what is 12-hour bullish divergence or the 3-day death cross stronger? That's the question I have to ask in my head.
There you go. The two most important factors coming up, that 12-hour bullish divergence building up or the 3-day death cross. Guys, you have the blueprint. You know the blueprint if you've been tuning in. And if you forgot, go back and rewatch these. They are very powerful. And so now all eyes on Bitcoin. We are in the home stretch, guys. Potentially, 35 days after the death cross, which could come by Thursday or Sunday. And, the rest is history. This is potentially the opportunity of a lifetime. You've got to get in the group. If you're on X, I just put the link to the Hive group in the description, and it's also in my bio. It'll take you to our verification channel, and then you can get started with our bot. Okay, so you've got to sign up to the group. It's a no-brainer. Get your $100 free bonus for any deposit, even $5, and get your feet wet because this is the last week you have the opportunity to try this out completely for free. Right. And we've been doing that throughout the bear market to help reward people who want to learn and give back. And so guys, we hope to see you in there. We will be coming to you Friday for a Crypto and Cocktails edition for sure. But tomorrow and Thursday, we may or may not have a bonus video. So if you do want that bonus video, comment in the description below, smash a like, hit the subscribe, share the stream. If you're tuning in on X, YouTube, wherever that may be, we appreciate all of you. Banana Republic here says he's DCAing Bitcoin and cost for now. Okay, then you stick to your plan. Also, very specific predictions of a wick to 46.43K, weekly candle close at 51.86K. All right, put it in Polymarket, Banana Republic, put it in Polymarket. So that's it, guys. We hope you have enjoyed this stream. We certainly have here in the Hive. Happy birthday to Rob, by the way, the GOAT, our lead analyst. Another amazing, incredible year to come. And just right before we launch one of the most powerful courses ever, guys, in trading. And it's all coming out probably, hopefully by March 1st. So we'll let you know how to get on the wait list for that, and good price entry for being, our early supporters on Friday. But we may give you a bonus video tomorrow or on Wednesday, depending on what happens in the market. Okay. Yes, 902 Johnson. Thank you for your support. Click that like button, guys. Smash it. It's free and it's very, very helpful to us. And we just love coming and hanging out with you here. So we will be back for more Friday for sure. And stay tuned. If you're in the group, we'll announce our next live times. And that's it, guys. Rob, thanks again for today and happy birthday. And we'll see you guys all very, very soon.
Have a good evening, everybody.